Hey, my handsome ladies and gentlemen, this is Shmeaty, and welcome back to Fun Fridays. If you guys are unaware, Fun Fridays are an experimental type of video on the channel here, where I will commentate on these battles a little more akin to how I would naturally. That being said, Fun Fridays do contain a bit more swearing than your average Shmeaty video, so if that's not your style, that's perfectly fine. Feel free to click on another Shmeaty video, but if you're still here, I'm assuming you're down. If you guys do like today's video, please feel free to leave it a like and subscribe to show me that you are interested in this kind of content. I'm more than happy to bring it to you, but nevertheless, let's get into the team. We've got Shadow Dragonite, Shadow Empoleon core with a Lickitung safe switch. Lickitung, of course, used to bait out any fighters that Empoleon would not want to see, but nevertheless, I've kept you guys long enough. Let's get into these matches. Kicking things off with game number 1, and Shadow Dragonite's gonna lead into an opposing non-Shadow Empoleon. I'm not particularly okay with this, but I stayed in for whatever reason, and they're gonna bring in Dragalge, which is getting torn to pieces by the Dragonite. They were going for the Dragon Tail down, but I'm just gonna bring in my Lickitung and absorb anything that they throw in Outrage. Only gonna bring me down to 50%. That Dragon Tail's not gonna register because they get licked down, and with this energy lead, I'm okay into this Empoleon. I'm gonna be able to fire off the Power Whip, which is going to do solid damage onto the Empoleon, so they are forced to shield, but my Dragonite has a move stored. Are they going to go for the farm down? I'm looking to build up to another Power Whip, but they do throw energy. So I am going to no-shield this energy. They are at the back-to-back moves. I'm going to bring in my Dragonite, fire off a Dragon Claw for some reason. I was not going to make another move, so this is a very stupid bait. I get the shield anyway, and we are cooking. Immediately pressing the no-shield button. I don't care what energy you throw at me here. You made a bad decision, and I'm going to bring in my Empoleon. I'm forced to because it's my last Pokemon, and it's going to be met with a Goodra. All I have to do here is click my shield button in case this is a potential Legacy Thunder Punch from the recent Community Day. I'm going to build up to the back-to-back Drill Pecks and fire off a Drill Peck so that I have residual energy going into this next matchup with the non-Shadow Empoleon. Now the question is, are they going to be able to outpace me to 2 moves? I really need them not to. We're going to fire off Hydro Cannon number 1. If they had any residual energy, they may outpace me to 2 moves here. I'm going to throw Hydro Cannon number 2. Opponent concedes the match. Shadow Dragonite is going to lead into a Spark Lantern as I hit the record button. Once again, too late. They are going to fire off a potential Surf here, but the fact that they're staying in here is cluing me into the fact that they may not want to see Dragonite somewhere in the back. So I am going to build up to the back-to-back Dragon Claws, and a Dragon Claw would not KO here. But you know what would? Superpower, blast the Lantern, get out of here, fish. They are going to bring in their Lickitung and perpetually be 1 lick ahead of me, but they are going to opt to bring in their Meganium in the back, which is fine by me. I prefer to see the Meganium here and have my Empoleon on their Lickitung, so this is actually them doing me a huge service. I am going to fire off the Body Slam onto the Meganium. That Frenzy Plant did a lot of damage, even though they're not even Shadow. We're going to build up to another Body Slam just before they're able to make another Frenzy Plant, firing this move off and seeing if we can get a response from the Meganium. Nope, they are going to sack it. Look to get that Frenzy Plant off at the last second, so I get less farm with my Dragonite. That is a very nice play by them. However, it's not going to save them. I'm going to bring in the Dragonite. Everything they can throw is double resisted, but they don't even make a move. I'm sending it. I don't care. I'm clicking my Superpower button. Superpower onto the Lickitung is going to get the shield, but in comes the Empoleon, and Empoleon cares nothing about this shiny Lickitung shenanigans. We are going to fire off the Hydro Cannon onto this Lickitung. Lickitung can tank 1, but it cannot tank 2, and now with the farm that I'm going to get with these Steel Wings, building up to the next Hydro Cannon, decision to make. I'm going to call it, and it is the Power Whip, so I make the correct shielding decision. I don't know, guys. This Lickitung's a little healthy. Is this going to be enough to KO? Of course it is. Empoleon takes care of the Lickitung. GG's to this trainer. Game number 3, and Shadow Dragonite's going to lead into an Altaria, a much more common Dragon Flying type as it is, much more bulky, but we care nothing about that. We're going to build up to our Dragon Claw and send it. This Dragon Claw would do fat damage onto this Altaria if they decide to no-shield it, so they're not. They're going to put up a shield, and I'm just going to bring in my Lickitung. They're going to bring in Medicham, but this is perfectly fine by me. This is exactly the kind of Pokemon I was anticipating baiting out with my Lickitung here. They're going to take the Body Slam, no problem, and that was only 5, so I know I don't have to shield. This is not a dynamic punch, but it is a power-up punch, and power-up punch is going to rack up that counter damage more and more. But Body Slam again onto this Medicham is going to get them increasingly low. They're nearly at another power-up punch here. They're going to send the power-up punch, and I honestly do not care about this power-up punch. They are going to get it off. They are now 2 stages boosted, but what I have in the back is a Dragonite. These counters are doing big damage onto my Dragonite. However, I am going to no-shield this power-up punch and opt to just get farm on my Empoleon. My Empoleon's getting blasted by counters. However, I'm putting all my trust in my Empoleon. They are going to fire off their energy before I'm able to get a move here, and of course I'm going to put up a shield. My Empoleon's rapidly losing HP. I'm going to go for the full Steel Wing down. They're noticing that, so they bring in their Bastiodon in the back, and once again, it seems I found a time traveler. I don't know how I keep doing this, but I am going to build up more energy and fire off another Hydro Cannon onto this Bastiodon. I could have probably safely banked 2 moves and then Drill Peck, but nevertheless, this play works too. Firing off the Drill Peck onto the Altaria, that's going to be a good game. Well played. GG's to this trainer. What fresh hell awaits us in this next game? It's going to be Shadow Dragonite leading into a Shadow Hypno. There's a very good reason you don't see this Pokemon anymore, and that's because it's bad, Confusion's bad, its pacing is bad, everything about it is bad. Nevertheless, we are going to build up to a Dragon Claw and fire it off onto the Hypno just before they're able to make an Elemental Punch, and I am going to safe switch into my Lickitung from here. They're going to bank 5 Confusions worth of energy and switch out. They're going to bring in their Charge-a-Bug, but down energy. This isn't necessarily a good matchup for the Charge-a-Bug. They gave me a massive energy lead, so I'm just going to fire off a Body Slam onto the Charge-a-Bug, build up to another Body Slam, and they are going to fire off their move. It's likely to be the X-Scissor, as it does the same damage in neutral situations as the Discharge. We're going to fire off 3 Licks and another Body Slam. Unrelenting is this very thick Lickitung. Rank 1 best buddy Lickitung absolutely doesn't care about the Charge-a-Bug's feelings. They are going to fire off another move, but do we care about this? Absolutely the fuck not. We are going to no shield and live on 1 HP, and now they're going to have to give me both of those shields or both of those cheeks once again. You guys know the drill. What are they going to do? They give me switch and shield advantage. Back in comes the Hypno. They're switching out, and now it's an Azumarill in the back. This is a bit of a problem because I aggressively pivoted my Dragonite. However, I know that I'm not going to be able to make 2 moves here, so I'm going to fire off my superpower, get KO'd, but I have a 2 shield advantage, and there is nothing in the world an Azumarill with 0 shields can do up against an Empoleon with a 2 shield advantage. I'm going to bring in my Empoleon, and no shield, it's a Hydro Pump, which does 50%. A resisted move from a very bulky Pokemon. Now we understand why this Pokemon gets huge power. Nevertheless, I am going to start putting up some shields here, over farming so that I always have some energy for that Hypno in the back. And we have 2 moves here. The Drill Peck is going to be more than enough to KO this Azumarill. Azumarill is going to go down, and now a Hydro Cannon will take care of the Hypno. GG's to this trainer. Hopping into this next game, and it is going to be Shadow Dragonite leading into a Charge-a-Bug, and Shadow Dragonite and Charge-a-Bug do pace the same to the first move. Their first Discharge is going to take 12 turns. My first Dragon Claw is going to take 12 turns, so you're going to see me continue to Dragon Breath after we get to the move, and that's very intentional as I don't want to give the Charge-a-Bug any free energy in case they just want to keep tapping their screen. So they are going to fire off 3 more Volt Switches, and just before they're able to get to a move, I'm going to Dragon Claw them, and they are going to just let it through. Whatever, I don't give a shit about my Charge-a-Bug either. So they are going to bring in a Dugong, and with this defense debuff from the superpower, we grab the shield and get the KO. That is pretty important. I wanted to die there because dying sooner there is a lot better for me. Don't want to give them too much of an energy lead. They are going to fire off a move onto my Lickitung, and this is easily going to be read as an Icy Wind. We don't care about the Icy Wind. We're going to no shield, building up past the Power Whip, and we're going to bait. This is a very risky bait. I'm already -1. They could easily live the whip, but they are going to put up the shield and fire off the Icy Wind as soon as they get it. This is very good for me. Icy Wind is going to be absorbed by Lickitung. I'm bringing in my Empoleon, but they have the perfect response to my Empoleon in the back in a Spark Lantern. Spark Lantern is, of course, double resisting my Steel Wing fast move pressure, which is kind of the reason why I run Shadow Empoleon. I'm going to fire off another Hydro Cannon. This trainer, very generous for allowing me to get to 2 Hydro Cannons here, and they're going to fire off their move as well. I don't have to commit a shield here. Honestly, I would just get outpaced, so there's no reason for me to commit a shield. They get 1 additional Spark after throwing that Surf. Back in comes my Lickitung. We're going to be licking away. They're going to fire off a move. They want to guarantee my shield, so they are going to bolt me here, but that's fine. I'm going to put up my shield, look to overfarm, but I throw my energy on alignment, and they make the perfect game-winning catch, catching my Body Slam onto the very healthy Dugong. That actually solidifies this game for them because they have a move banked on the Lantern, and I wouldn't win CMP regardless. GG's to this trainer. I got thoroughly outplayed. And this next game we are going to lead Shadow Dragonite into a non-Shadow Shiny Typhlosion. They are going to stay in here, but the Typhlosion is getting torn to pieces by Dragon Breath Pressure. And we're going to fire off a Dragon Claw. Now, they would not waste all this energy on their Typhlosion, so I'm going to build up and switch into my Lickitung just as they're able to get the back-to-back Thunder Punches. This would likely be a Thunder Punch, so I am going to no-shield it, and they're going to bring in a Poliwrath. They are already down a shield, however, so I'm going to fire off this Power Whip on alignment. I was really struggling last night. I think my connection was a bit of an issue last night when I played these games, but nevertheless, they let the Power Whip through, and they are going to let me fully farm them down. I don't know what that was about, but they're going to bring in their Ferrothorn in the back, and this is perfect. I have my Empoleon that can deal with the health range the Typhlosion is currently at, and I have my Dragonite, which is perfect for this Ferrothorn. That was only 4 bullet seeds. I am not going to go down to a Power Whip here, so I'm going to no shield, and they do Power Whip me. I'm building up to my superpower, and they're going to fire off their move. I didn't even see that switch coming, but they are going to fire off a Thunder Punch. But I am going to get the farm down, and there is no play for this Ferrothorn left. I'm going to fire off this superpower once again on alignment. My timing yesterday, I'm sorry guys, it was really off. But nevertheless, we are going to make another superpower. I'm not even entirely sure this KOs, but it does. GG's to this trainer. Alright, we have reached the final game of the video, and Shadow Dragonite gonna lead into a Purified Sableye, and if you guys don't know why there's a big smile on my face, you're about to find out. We pace the same to these moves, and Dragonite will just always win CMP, but to avoid them getting a free Shadow Claw through, we are gonna fire off our Dragon Claw on good timing onto this Sableye. Sableye getting torn to pieces by the Dragon Breath fast move pressure. They are going to fire off their foul play here, and we are going to commit to the farm down. Sableye, just as they make the move, are going to get farmed down, and they bring in their Typhlosion in the back. Typhlosion is going to get a juicy energy head start. However, it's going to come at the cost of taking so much Dragon Breath damage, and now we're going to bring in some more fast move pressure. In comes the Lickitung. Lickitung chipping away at the Typhlosion's HP. They are firmly in Body Slam range. They are going to Blast Burn, but I put up my shield. They bring in their own Lickitung, possibly hoping for a catch. I bank 2 Body Slams, a little over, and bring in my Empoleon. We are going to attempt to fire off our Hydro Cannon straight away. They cannot catch, and they are going to deny by throwing their Power Whip just before I'm able to make my Hydro Cannon. So very good counting from this trainer, and very bad counting by me. They're going to fire off a Body Slam here. This is going to KO my Empoleon, which is now me wasting nearly 80 energy on my Empoleon. That is a very bad feeling. We're going to come back in with our Lickitung, but we have such a healthy Lickitung here, and we're able to get to 2 Body Slams before the opponent throws their own Body Slam onto this Lickitung. Going to do some solid damage. It looks as if that was a CMP tie, and we both have the rank 1 best buddy Lickitung. Perfect CMP tie. They're going to bring in the Typhlosion, and Typhlosion is not at a move yet. They have to fire off the Incinerate, which means we get to the Body Slam. I am not in move range from this Lickitung. We get to our Body Slam, and Body Slam is going to KO this Lickitung. GG's to this trainer. Alright, all memes aside, this was definitely a fun team for me to run. One of those no bullshit trying to get your games done and not spend an hour and a half to 2 hours playing your Go to Battle League sets. Definitely that kind of team. Not necessarily for those of you that want to climb in like 200, 300 elo, but it is pretty well constructed, and honestly I would recommend it to you if you are looking to have a little bit of fun early season. So with all that being said, thanks again so much for watching. This has been Shmeaty. I hope to see you guys again next time, and have a good rest of your day. Bye.